Jack saw when we were up here doing that tour and said, hey, you gotta come by. What we do is pretty unique, not only for Ohio, but frankly in the whole US or world, with literally huge diameter machines, a lot of hydraulic cylinder type work. So let's dive in.
This is what we call our 09 bay. This is our big machine area. This one will hold roughly between 38 to 40,000 pounds in the center.
Part?
38 to 40,000 pounds.
Oh my God, look at the parts. Holy cow.
This is actually the first horizontal lathe of this size in the United States. We'll run 24 hours on this machine when we have to do a full weld in anywhere from 7 to 10 days. Straight. Yeah.
That's awesome. Look at those. Wait, the thing that's Swiss cheesed up is the whole head.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Manufactured this from scratch. So the customer gives us.
You got to be kidding me. A lot of lathes. I'm not sure I'm going to like this.
Yeah.
Good morning, folks. I am at R&J Cylinder Machine, and this is pretty cool because normally I have a pretty good idea what the factory is going to be, and I've heard what's inside of there, but I have not seen it yet. But I've heard there's some pretty big machines. I'm here with
Jack Colaprete. I do sales, some marketing stuff. Just a little bit of everything. So.
And there's some big machines?
Oh, you're going to be amazed.
Let's go see.
Yep, let's go.
So it's awesome because we're actually pretty close to the Allied factory, and Jack saw when we were up here doing that tour and said, hey, you got to come by. What we do is pretty unique, not only for Ohio, but frankly in the whole US or world, with literally huge diameter machines, a lot of hydraulic cylinder type work. So let's dive in.
Yeah, so this area, we're kind of starting out kind of on the back end of things. This is where we do our assembly for our hydraulic cylinders.
Okay.
So on hydraulic cylinder things, we do OEM production for corporations, manufacturers for equipment.
Okay. So literally, if you buy a new piece of equipment, it could have a cylinder you made.
Yes.
But you private label it for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. OEM side of things, we primarily do up to 8-inch bore, some 10-inch bore stuff. This is where it all comes together. This is kind of our clean area where we do final assembly on it, testing, test benches. We have staged areas for components. We do some stocking for some customers as well, to where there's a constant turnover. So we stock them and bring them. You know, we deliver to customers. So
I've actually heard of Kundal Crane. I think they're an Ohio.
Yeah, they're
company.
up near Youngstown area.
Pretty like innovative.
Yeah.
Interesting story. I came across them actually in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, we use them just in this bay just because there was no crane set up in here, so we kind of set this up so they can move the cylinders around.
And this is your building, but new to you?
Yes, we moved into this facility about 2 years ago.
Okay.
We grew very rapidly, so we went from just under 50,000 square foot in 3 buildings.
Okay.
To 125 under one roof right now.
125.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
So we're already starting to outgrow this one. So.
And when was the company started?
In the mid '90s. It started out as just a small little shop, father-son operation, just doing some stuff, and it grew from there. Started out just doing some honing and some machining.
Interesting.
And it's blown up from there. So it's.
That's really cool, folks. I want to learn a little bit more about that story throughout this tour, but in the 1990s, the mid 90s, that's not that long ago. It had grown into this with 90 employees. The work you're doing, that's really cool.
We just moved up to 90 employees as of right now. You know, and we're expanding even more. So.
Cool.
We have 2 test benches. We don't do batch testing. Every single cylinder goes on the bench, gets tested for leaks, holds pressure for so long, and then we have a dot peener. We stamp them. We put serial number on them with a date code, so we know batch. We know when they were manufactured, what the part number of the cylinder is.
I'm a novice when it comes to cylinders, but if he's got 2 hoses hooked up on that one, that means it's a dual acting cylinder. So it can both push out, but it can also pull with force as it retracts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then these ones you can see are a single acting cylinder.
Okay. So that it can only push out. Has to use gravity or something to come back on.
Uses gravity to retract.
Got it. Cool. Beautiful. All the seals.
Yeah, so 99% of everything is manufactured in this facility.
Okay. Cool.
You know, we'll buy raw material, bring it in. which will show you the machines on the other side, but we machine all the glands, pistons, casings, rod eyes, everything here.
A lot of lathes. I'm not sure I'm gonna like this.
Yeah. You know, we have probably 4 to 5 guys that work in this area where all they do is just put together and test. This is our staging area for welded components and assembled components. So you see some,
oh wow, some longer cylinders.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
those are 11-foot 4-inch bore cylinders we do.
So what would that go on?
That's used on a rollback.
Oh, okay.
That's the cylinder that moves the bed back and then it
Yeah.
tilts it down. You have the outer part, which is the casing,
Casing, okay.
and then you have the inner part, which is the rod, which
The
would
rod,
be something like this.
So you're turning at some point an almost 11-foot rod here.
Yes.
That's cool.
This area over here, when we bought this building, it used to be called Morgantown Machine.
Okay.
They did a lot of oil and gas stuff. So the oil and gas kind of took a dive back in 2014-15 era.
Yep.
They had to get out.
Yeah.
So it was owned by Swanson Industries at that point. We bought the building and some of the machines we acquired with them. Like this is a older 6-pallet machine.
You know, what is that, a horizontal with a pallet changer?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then we have a big mill that.
Oh, an Akuma Hala,
Yeah.
yeah. One of those open machines. Wow, look at this thing. Cool.
So we use this on some occasions. It doesn't get used that often, but it's a nice asset to have in case you need it. It's just not it's not a production machine that we use at this point.
Look at those boring heads though. That's cool.
So this X area is our welding area. We kind of keep it separate from everything else because obviously welding and everything is dirty.
Yeah.
So this area in here is where all of our welding gets taken place. All of our production welding, our roll industry welding. We have a annealing furnace right here that we use for our big rolls.
Yep.
So we, like I said, we kind of keep this separate just to keep everything clean.
Looks like a robot.
Yeah, we just got that earlier this year. It's a 3-cell setup. We do a lot of hand welding here for cylinders, and there were some things we needed to speed up the process on. So we did a lot of research, and OTC is the one who did that one. They helped us kind of come up with a good cell design so we can, you know, we streamline like a lot of our cylinders once they're programmed. It's cut it down, you know, like one cylinder, for example, took almost an hour from start to finish to hand weld. In that machine, we can do it in 25 minutes.
Wow.
So
I assume a lot of positioners.
Yeah.
A rotary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is our big weld lathe for our
That's
rolls.
cool.
This is a submerged arc welding machine, which we'll show you some rolls for the industry that we do.
Okay.
For the aluminum industry.
Look at this. Look at the heaters. Preheat that roll. Your center.
When we do the rolls, we have to turn them down and machine the grooves, water grooves, any cracks, anything like that on it. We have to weld it back up.
Okay, you're building the surface back up.
Yep. So we put them in this machine. The torches along the back are positioned, so once it's heated up to the temperature, we can't stop welding. It has to run until it's complete. So we'll run 24 hours on this machine when we have to do a full weld in anywhere from 7 to 10 days. Straight. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So we,
holy cow.
the last one we did, we put almost 1,500 pounds of weld wire back onto it.
So it's, to me, in layman's terms, it's a MIG welder or a wire feed welder, but it deposits sand.
Yeah, it deposits the material on top of it.
So you don't need a flux or a shield gas.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And there's 2 heads on it. There's a head down here too. So you can put 2 heads on it and work. And
I was going to ask. So does it weld along the Z-axis, or does it rotate it?
This rotates. It's spinning, and the head just kind of stays in spot and welds as the piece.
Okay, so it does weld like a helical spiral around.
Yep. And then it's a pretty cool machine. It's kind of a custom built machine, but as it comes around, it clicks and it moves the head over.
Okay. Yep.
So
that's cool.
It'll do one full turn, and then once it clicks, the heads move over. And it does it again. So you got some of these guys that when these come up, they just kind of stand here and watch the machine for 24 hours a day to make sure it's.
You can't screw that up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a very expensive process and an expensive mistake if you screw up. So
yeah. And this is building up hydraulic work or just rolls?
This is roll industry.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
And it's got a recycling system on it, so the flux core, the flux that goes down,
Interesting.
goes in here, and it's got a vacuum on it. That's what these
that's
tubes are.
cool.
So a lot of it's reusable because a lot of it's waste as you're doing it. So.
Yeah, sure. Can we peek in the robot?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this side over here is the long section where we do the longer ones at.
Cool. Okay. So it's already. He's going to build up a bead around that.
Yep.
You think?
Yep.
Okay,
This
so it's
is the
already tacked in
rod.
place?
We tack them in place on a fixture, and then once all of them are tacked,
Yeah.
we just change them out, and the robot will come down and move where it needs to go. And as this is turning, so the head can do different
Yep.
locations, and it's turning this way.
Right.
And
Right.
The other
and
side.
that's how you grind out through there. That's kind of what
Yep.
keeps it working. Cool.
It's a pretty big machine. I think it's a 500 amp, 450 or 500 amp.
Wow. Holy cow.
And then the other side over here, this has got two sides on it that are identical.
Okay.
So it's a fast process.
Yeah. One.
So as they're tacked up, put it in, close the gate, push a button, it comes over and welds. You can go over to this side, put a piece in,
Cool.
and just, go back and forth.
Yep.
It's really sped up the process on a lot of it. And then these are semi-automatic weld lathes for like welding blind ends and eyes and stuff on. This is a smaller one. We have a bigger one over there, but you just put the piece in, set it up, close the curtain, and push a button, and the torch comes over.
So this is going to weld the end cap on.
Yep.
Just like that's a weld.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see any puddle marks.
Nope.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's really smooth.
And then the port, we used to hand weld those. Well, we had these custom port machines made.
That's really incredible, though. Do the robots push or pull the puddle?
It depends.
It depends.
On how it's set up in the machine. But the port welding machines,
Oh, look at that.
we have
Oh, that's cool.
we put the tube in, and then you put this in there, push a button, this goes down and clamps it in place.
Yeah.
Close the curtain, and it welds around the
That's
port.
awesome. Yeah.
So it just makes it really streamlined. You can run through a whole
The
set
port
of-
stay stationary. That head pivots around.
Yeah, the torch head pivots around the machine.
That's really cool.
We got a bigger weld blade over here for the longer pieces.
Got it.
Same thing as the other one. This one has 3 heads on it, and then another port.
So why do you
welder.
need 3 heads?
You can actually do 2 operations, like if you're welding a blind in and a gland on at the same time.
Same time. Wow.
We don't get into a lot of fully welded cylinders. There are a couple customers. Most of them are rebuildable, so only one end is welded
I
on
see. The
solid.
other end's threaded.
The other end's either threaded or got a retaining ring in it, or
Okay.
screws, or there's different variations of
Interesting.
it. And then on this side of it, we have a guy that does big welding. Actually, this is one of the smaller rolls right now that's
Oh.
getting heated up.
Cool.
Yeah, so we have an automatic, put all the
Yeah.
sensors and pads and stuff on it and wrap it, and we bring it up to a certain temperature.
And so when you say a roll, this is literally a compression roll to force out.
Yeah, for the aluminum industry, it comes out as a big molten ingot, and it goes through the rolls to flatten it out into paper thin material. So
Cool. It's a rolling mill, just a different, instead of being a steel
And this
product,
is actually
it's
one of the small ones. This one's like 26,000 pounds.
26,000 pounds?
And we have some
Holy
other ones
cow.
that are 38 to 40,000 pounds.
Wow.
I'll show you on the other side. And then this gentleman back here, all he does is custom welding, sub-arc welding for big machine pieces.
Yeah. Look at that positioner cable right there.
Yeah, so we have different positioners here.
Yeah, that's
big
awesome.
one over there.
Yeah.
And he has kind of a custom-made submerged arc for doing different operations.
I like the angle with the wheel carts to move that stuff around.
Yeah.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, because we'll do some rods that are 30 foot long that need welded
Yeah.
up. So we put them on the rollers. We put a head on one end of it so it can.
Oh, you can
can
actually
turn.
move these around
Yeah.
as you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's cool. I'm curious to see as we move on. Well, just answering my question, how much is manual versus how much is CNC?
Yeah. So majority of the cylinder side of things is all CNC.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So This area here is our small, when I say small, you'll see this is our small CNC area.
Okay.
All these shelves are all is staged parts, material that need done. We use a Kanban system with tags, so we know what colors mean different things, what's going on. In this corner over here is our manual machine. This guy does a lot of our per se tool and die stuff, jigs, fixtures, anything we need for setting up CNC machines.
Yep. Looks like a Lucas 8 horizontal boring mill and then a large Bridgeport. Yeah, that Bridgeport is huge. Interesting. And oh, look at the pretty good size lathe actually.
That's going to look like a mini lathe.
Yeah.
When we go on the other side.
Cool. Great lighting in here, man.
Yeah, when we moved in here, we changed everything to LEDs.
Awesome.
And everything's on sensor, so you notice the light just came on.
Yeah, I saw that.
So like on the night shift crew that we run, it's a skeleton crew, but we don't want all the lights on in the building, so they're all on timers. But as you walk, the lights come on, and
that's fine. Look at that, it's beautiful. You turning those threads?
Yeah, and so that's a proprietary thread.
Oh yeah.
For a drilling company that does core samples. They make rigs and they make their own tubes for drilling, and they use their own proprietary thread on them. So
interesting.
These are our two larger CNC lathes on this area. The Puma 3100 is a workhorse for us. We do a lot of bigger stuff on it. SL40.
Yeah, look at that. Holy cow! Look at that chuck. Oh, that's literally where you're turning the ID of those. Interesting. Look at that. That's cool. And then the Puma. Oh, interesting. So that's not a bar feeder. It's more of a spider or a support thing. Ah, it's cool. I like that.
Because a lot of the stuff we can't bar feed. You know, we have these rods and you just can't bar feed them. So a lot of times we'll have stick out past the point to where we use that as a...
Well, that thing's got to have a heck of a through bore on the spindle.
After the pistons get welded onto the shafts, we got to go in and turn the weld down.
Ah, okay, got it.
So this is one solid piece. It's not. A lot of the pistons are either threaded on or have a nut to hold it on. Okay. This particular application requires that the piston is welded on. So after this is second operation after it gets welded on, they come over and he turns the welds down on them. These cylinders are for a trash refuse company for garbage trucks. Okay. So it's a whole gamut of industries that we get into, from turf lawn equipment, refuse, to lift tables, to everything.
I mean, construction equipment? Okay.
Everything.
Cool.
In this enclosed area is our quality control department. We have 4 full-time guys and just inspectors.
Okay.
So we do first article inspection, and we do, depending on the run, every 5th or 10-piece inspection. Okay. So the operators will actually do a first article. Once they do it's set up and run, we have an inspector inspect it, sign off on it, and then we do in-run inspections too. So we keep all of our gauges, mics, everything inside this room. We kind of keep it separate from everyone. They got to sign stuff out so we know where it's going. And so everything's labeled.
Yeah. Big calipers and mics.
Yeah, I mean, some pretty big stuff that so all the...
Yeah, 24-inch OD mics. Oh,
and someone's got it out.
That's awesome though. Holy cow. That's cool.
And, big calipers, just inspection area. I mean, you can see these mics.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Look at those. Holy cow. Wow. That's incredible. Like a 2-man lift for doing calipers.
Thread gauges, because we do a lot of threading. And we send everything out and have it certified. We are ISO, so we follow all the ISO protocols. And
so these companies, if you're doing repair work, do they keep in stock generally a backup so that way if they send you something they're not down? Or do you get rush jobs?
We get rush jobs too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of
rush jobs like thousands of dollars are being lost an hour when this
is okay. Yeah, and it's a lot of times they need stuff like couple day turnaround time.
Right.
And we can do it. You know, we have guys that work 24 hours a day that, you know, holidays. But again, it's you pay for it. So.
Right.
And then these are all of our CNCs to run the parts. This one right here, our 2600, is our newest machine. We bought it kind of specifically for one customer to run close to 15,000 cylinders a year for.
Oh, wow.
Has capability to run 24 hours a day, bar feeder. It's a dual spindle.
Oh, you guys are running the Capto.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it bar feeds in, we'll do one operation, and then if it's got to part it off and do the other side, spindle come over, speed up, clamp it, grab it over, and then it's got a conveyor system that comes up, drops it out, and then they inspect it. So it's kind of a unattended operation.
Okay, so you guys are using driven tools on this. Sweet. Gosh, it seems like a big machine. Look at that. ID, so that's the ID, that's the MB insert, the grooving?
That's the MB,
okay,
yes.
got it. And so these are all your drivens.
Somebody freaked, they thought I was writing a permanent marker.
Oh, it's gonna run apart. Sweet. Gosh, that's close.
And then this comes in and does the finish up here with the Y-axis shift.
Interesting. Cool. So it's the same insert, just a different rad or different feed and speed?
No, that we're roughing with the CNMG and then finishing with the DNMG.
Ah, okay.
Now the only one I gotta have to run coolant on is right here. As hard as I'm pushing that drill,
Is that an AAE drill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's running 850 RPM with a feed rate of 12,000 per rev.
12,000 Paredes. Yeah, that's legit. And the material's a steel?
This is ductile.
It is ductile iron?
Ductile
Oh my gosh. Ooh. You see a lot of taper in that bar?
No.
Cool.
No.
I guess it's pretty free machining material.
Yeah, even whenever I'm running 1018 or this machine has seen 1018, 6061 aluminum, and then
Well, look at it.
bar.
It looks like it was pecking a little bit.
It is.
Okay.
Yes,
Very
we'll
cool.
take a little peck with these on the initial pass to try to reduce any kind of lead off.
Yeah.
All right, and then here comes.
Oh, that's cool. Look at this. Oh, did a chuck blast? Okay.
Yes, yes, that is very important.
You like that?
Yes, very important. And then I also have it to where not only with the air blast, I also have coolant flow through the sub spindle. Because what will happen is chips will build up on the jaws, and then you'll begin getting marks and all kind of other issues, and it can create problems.
Oh my God! Then it comes in, does your part.
Remember that comment a few minutes ago about
Clearance?
About clearance and
Yeah.
the Rubik's Cube that fights back?
Wow.
You now see it.
Holy cow!
Everybody thought I was joking when I said that.
And then the Capto block on the backside, same thing, CNMG and
Yes,
DNMG.
yes.
Awesome.
And then I also have ID blocks on the OD or on the sub side as well.
Yep.
The thing you have to be careful. I'm not sure how the Haas is set up, but with this one, I learned the hard way. You're restricted by your tool length on the sub spindle side, because you see how things rotate around. You'll see here directly on the next tool rotation.
Oh, because it clears the backside of the turret
you
now.
don't
Yeah,
have, but you got about 2 inches and that's it.
You can't stick a long drill in the back.
Yeah,
there.
if you watch her, you'll see.
Yeah. Oh, so you get to choke up on that boring bar. Mm. Dumb question, but the groove is for a seal? Of
Yes.
the bearing?
Yes, these are seal grooves, wiper and seal grooves.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little close, isn't it?
Yeah, that's horrifying. Wow, that thing's really cutting too.
Mm-hmm.
It's spending some time in there.
It's 1,500 RPM with a feed rate of 2.5, or yeah, 2.5
Holy cow.
thou per rev.
It's interesting that the Durabar, you mean it really forms a proper chip?
Yeah, it does very well.
Hard on insert life, tool life?
Not really. I mean, it's like your standard cast iron where, you know, it's going to be abrasive.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing we've run into, and it doesn't happen all that often, but with Durabar we'll see delamination.
Oh.
If we're using it, it's only at the surface. So if we're just taking 30, 40 off the OD, we may see a delam. But typically we try to have it to where we'll take 75 to 100 thousandths off, and we're good. But once in a while, if we're going real light on the OD cuts, we'll see some delams.
Literally, it'll delaminate. It'll tear apart like in a.
It'll peel a section off. Yes.
Interesting. Wow, yeah, that MB tool's doing a lot of work though. That's cool.
And now here's the fun part.
That is awesome. Onto the conveyor belt. And there we go.
That's finished work.
That is awesome.
Now that will look cool at 25% on the rapid rate.
You were running the whole machine at slow down.
Everything was on 25%.
Yeah. Oh, feed rates or just the rapid?
Just the rapid.
Yeah.
Now watch it.
Oh, coolant. Coolant.
Oh. If it fries one of those inserts, I'm not going to cry because they're pretty much there anyhow.
Do you know who your Sandvik rep is?
Eric also.
So the sub grabs it and actually does the pull, not the bar
yes,
feeder.
Now we can. This can be done multiple ways.
Yeah.
It can be used as a bar. Right now, we're basically using it as a bar loader.
Okay.
Now it can be used as a pusher. We've got a couple things coming up we're going to experiment and try that with.
Yeah.
We've never done that. But yes, right now it is just a bar puller. It's a loader and puller.
Awesome. Hey, appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Now,
So these Puma 250.
All the jaws. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at all that.
These are our mills down through here. Our vending.
The vending, huh?
How we do this is we have a job. So all of our jobs have a barcode on them,
Okay.
and they're programmed. So when the operator gets the job, he comes over, enters it into the computer,
Yep.
tells him what piece he needs,
And then
spits
it
it out.
I love it.
gets the insert, goes over
I
to
love
So
it.
it's kind of a foolproof way to make sure you're getting the right tool every time you're doing a job.
I like how you've taken some of them out and put them in individual boxes too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We can track it that way.
Yeah.
So if a job shows it has 20 carbides on it, we know that, okay, something's
Right. One like that,
alright.
number 17, that's a good sized piece of carbide. You know,
Yeah.
pulling 10 of those out, it's got some money in it.
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't realize there was so much cast iron.
Yeah, a lot of ductile. We use a lot of Durabar.
Yep.
Because on the cylinders, you have to have dissimilar material.
Oh.
So
between the
like a lot of the
casing and
pistons, yeah. So the pistons or in the glands will either do out of ductile or aluminum, depending on what the customer specs out. Because you have to have that dissimilar metal in there.
Holy
so
cow.
this is what we call our 09 bay. This is our big machine area.
Okay.
This is separate from the production cylinder stuff.
Look at
You
that.
can see this is a new
Holy
Momentum.
cow.
This one will hold roughly between 38 to 40,000 pounds in the centers.
Apart?
38 to 40,000
Oh
pounds.
my God.
This is one of the newer ones. We specifically bought this one to kind of do our roll industry, but we use it for a lot of big, obviously big pieces.
38,000 pound work piece. Oh my God, look at this. Oh, look at the part. Holy cow.
You know it's a big machine when you got stair steps to walk up to it.
Oh yeah. Well, and you kind of thought that, like, at first it almost looks like the turret is the part, and then you realize the part is all the way back
Yeah.
there.
Yep. And that's one of the rolls that are in there right now turning.
Wow, that's incredible.
We've actually had to change out the tailstock and stuff on it. That's what all this is. They're just kind of testing it right now.
These are custom-made machines, or?
Well, it's made by a company called Momentum. They do a lot of vertical lathes.
Okay.
This is actually the first horizontal lathe of this size in the United States.
Where are they? A U.S. company?
They're based out of Texas, but of course they're manufactured overseas.
Got
But
it.
there you go.
Oh, wow. So you literally, so this is a part you built up?
Yes, on
That's
this one,
incredible.
yeah, we built this one up and he's turning the OD on it down now.
But that's that's that submerged arc weld?
Yes.
That's
yep.
incredible.
Well, you can't see, he's already made passes on it,
Oh, forgive me, got it.
so you won't see the weld. I'll show you some.
That is massive.
Yeah, we do everything. So there's bearings that get pressed in on the ends of these.
Okay.
So a lot of times the bearing surface will get screwed up to where that's the only part we have to repair. We've actually had them to where these stubs have been broken off.
Oh my God.
We'll machine a new stub for it, go in and grind it out, and weld it all
Weld
back
back
up
on it.
again.
How do you, so you'll do ID work on these as well?
No, not. There's really not an ID. They're just kind of through drilled for
Okay.
the coolant passages.
Okay. Oh, the
But-
bearing seats on there,
Yeah.
not on the ID.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
The bearing, it's
Yeah.
a large bearing. It seats on the
That's
outside
incredible.
of it.
That's really big. It's kind of funny. It's the small lathes, like the one we just saw, that scare me more because you've got no clearances. This is great. Look at that. Oh wow, you just step into the machine. Replacing an insert? Yes, how do you use mics to measure this?
Got some big mics.
It's incredible. Oh my God. Look at that insert. That's incredible. That's cool. Thank you.
And
And
we-
it now seems
yeah,
small.
Yeah.
In any other context, this would be a huge lathe.
This is the LM. We have
Okay.
an XLM version down here, but this will do up to, I think, 174-inch long piece.
It's incredible.
And then the XLM will do 214.
214
So,
between
yeah.
centers.
Yep.
Wow.
And then our
You still use the boring mills?
We still use this on occasion. There's some roll stuff that we do in
Okay.
here because it's just not, our other machines aren't big enough, so if we got to cut a keyway or something in it, we use this
Got
for
it.
that. It hardly ever gets used, but it's a lifesaver.
It is
whenever-
CNC though.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Yep.
Wow.
Archaic CNC, but it's,
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, Fagor. Cool. Wow. Oh my God, that XLM is long.
yeah.
Holy cow.
I said that one's 214, I believe, in between centers. 214, 215.
Look at the parts. Wow. You can hear the chips peppering it.
And you can see our cranes. We do stuff so big that we got 25 ton, 15 ton overhead cranes that pretty much all the machines are loaded this way.
Yeah, sure.
And towards the back, it's all of our manual stuff. So we have turning and boring back here.
Look at that. That's incredible. Do you guys handle a lot of the leveling and alignment stuff in-house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we have.
The length of these is amazing.
And then our boring machine,
Serious?
we do 36-inch diameter, single cut. I can show you some of the chips. We can take off some of them up to a 1/2-inch material on a single pass.
I don't understand. So that's the boring bar there?
That's
So it's
the
a
boring
guided
bar.
boring bar?
Yep.
So that,
Yep.
oh my God. This is a smaller one here, same thing? Wow. Yeah. Oh, so it's actually pulling the boring out. Interesting. You can just barely see it's moving. Wow.
Yeah, you can see he's got a big piece in there he's
Oh
boring
my
right
God. Oh, that wasn't even the end of the machine.
now. No, that's just for the bar.
Oh,
It's on this side. The piece stays stationary.
the piece stays stationary and the boring bar turns inside. Wow.
That's material, single pass material removal.
Oh my God. That's incredible. Wow.
As you can see, we go through a lot of cardboard because it slings
Lost chips.
oil.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay, oil.
And it's pressurized, the head's pressurized on it, so.
So explain this to me. This is what pushes, this is what holds the boring bar and pushes the
Yes.
tool,
Yep.
cutting tool. This is an oil
Yep.
reservoir. That's what rotates, well, the part doesn't rotate. Oh, this is where it rotates the
Yep.
boring bar.
Yep.
Okay. So are these rare?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we make a lot of parts. You just can't get pieces for them anymore, too. It's just.
Holy cow.
Actually, one of these machines, I can show you on the other side, but one of these had a three-speed gearbox on it, and you just tear up the gearbox on it. So we actually designed our own 2-speed gearbox for it. We machined everything in-house for it, gears and everything. It's pretty close to going on. It's over in the manual or the tool and die area, but I can show it to you. You just can't get stuff for them.
Right.
They're just.
Are there cylinders that diameter in the world?
Oh yeah, we've got one over here. I can show you.
Hydraulics blow me away because I can go buy a $100 or $200 100-ton bottle jack. Like, that's so much pressure, and that's probably a 1.5-inch diameter cylinder. So to think what the amount of force and power you could get out of something that is 20, 30 inches is unbelievable. It's unconscionable. Well, I don't understand it.
And just the amount of fluid that it takes to move something like that. I mean, you're not talking, 5 gallons of fluid. You're talking 600-700 gallons of fluid just to fill the cylinder up.
Beautiful high bay, man. This is a great room.
Yeah, and then, so that was the original building over there, and this was added on, and then this next section was added on. This one's 100-foot wide, 400-foot long.
You did the add-on?
Just before we bought it, it was added on.
Oh, that's nice. Man, good for you guys.
So this is where you can see all the material for a customer that comes in on a daily basis.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this is all just
Oh my gosh.
gets either honed or bored, and
Wow.
it comes in, we run it, right back out the door.
Wow.
And this section over here is all of our hones.
So that's interesting because you're providing a product in the form of a turnkey cylinder, but then you're also a job shop.
Yeah, yep,
Interesting.
yep. We do one-offs all the way up to several 100-piece runs on on materials.
Wow.
So, and then cylinder side, like I said, you know, we've got customers that buy 15,000 pieces a year from us. So,
Right. Holy cow.
but these are all of our hones over here.
So explain honing to someone who doesn't know what honing is.
So honing gives you the surface finish you need for sealing,
Okay.
essentially,
Yep.
for the seals to rest on. Gives you that nice crosshatch pattern in there, so your surface finish for the seals.
So you don't actually want a 0 RA.
No, no.
You want there to be texture.
Yeah, technically, you know, 15, 16 to 20, somewhere around there is where you
Interesting.
want. When you get too smooth, it doesn't seal. And
Interesting.
it'll actually burn up the seals.
Huh. And so when you turn, are you conscious about your feed per rev because of how that leaves a tool pad, like a
Yeah.
thread in the
Yeah.
part?
Yep.
So that affects, because that affects how much honing you have
Yes.
to do.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
But you can, to me, I would think you would hone off 2 thou. You're actually honing off 10, 15 thou sometimes?
Yes. Yep. Sometimes it's you know, they make multiple passes on it. You know, you can see we've got some smaller ones, and then the one up against the back wall over there actually do a 60-foot piece, so we can
60 foot?
flip it and do 120.
And how long would it take to hone a part?
Something that long, it depends on diameter of it. You know, some pieces can take an hour to 2, and some pieces you get one piece in an 8-9 hour shift.
Yeah, okay. But still under a day.
yeah.
It's not like the
Yeah,
weld
no,
up process.
nope.
Where is, okay, so there's the actual hone. Okay. This isn't the same as your son in handheld
Exactly.
guy. That's
As
it,
you
huh?
can see, this is pretty messy
Yeah.
operations, and it's oil, and
Wow.
so you just same thing. You know, you set your piece in, lock it down, center
Yeah,
it all
your piece
up,
would go
and
this way,
Yep.
and then you, oh, that's interesting. The chains are what hold the part.
clamp it down. Yep.
And the
then-
hone has, it looks like it has a floating head, so it
Yeah.
follows, the hone won't change the alignment, it'll just follow.
No, because we have to make sure we have to check to make sure the pieces are straight within
Yeah.
so many thou tolerance. And we actually have a straightening machine back there too that we can put a piece in
Oh,
and bend it and
okay.
straighten it.
Yep.
But yeah, the head just follows the surface, so you have to be careful on material straightness as well.
Right,
So
right. It's interesting. Look at that, gosh. And so that is a hone inside a piece
yes,
right here?
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's
Incredible.
they're not running right now, but it's pretty interesting sounds coming from over here. It sounds anywhere from an elk bugle call to
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That was funny.
We're one of the few places that have sizes this
Yeah.
you know, this big. So
I mean, it's incredible. Oh, just honing a little piece. Cool. Wow, you can really see it tug on that.
And then we have all of our inserts and tools and
all the honing stones. Yeah. Do you dress a honed stone?
Depends. Most of the time, no.
Okay. They self braid or press.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Huh.
So this next section is where we get into repairables.
Okay.
So we do cylinder repair, but not your average farmer cylinder. As you can see, this is a cylinder that came in that needed repaired, and we do everything, you know, scrap metal yards, oil and gas industry, big construction equipment we'll get into. But they'll come in from anything from just needing a reseal to completely rebuilding to
it's actually a spectacular finish on the inside.
redoing the bore on it, making new parts and pieces.
Wow. Oh, another one of those rolls.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's one of the smaller ones. I'll show you the bigger ones in the back here, because this is where we actually de-shell them back here. You know, that's another one that was
massive.
rebuilt. And then this one right here is one we built from scratch, because you can see the bad one sitting over there.
Okay, the blue guy?
Yeah, it was unrepairable.
What is that?
It's a press cylinder for a big hydraulic press.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we manufactured this from scratch. So the customer gives us.
You got to be kidding me! Tell me the torque spec on those bolts. That's like a joke.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So they'll send us the old cylinder. We'll tear it apart and see if it, you know, is repairable, needs replaced, and then we'll use the old cylinder to manufacture a new one.
This is incredible. So what kind of press would this be?
I believe this is a big. It's down south somewhere that they use it for a large press operation. A lot of times we don't even know what it's for.
Sure.
It's just they
But not
send it to
a
us.
high-speed sanding press, because
No.
these are slow.
Yes.
But just a lot of pressure.
Yes.
Wow.
And we made the flange. We machined it all in house.
Whoa.
You can see this is all submerged,
Yeah.
welded.
So those are actual cap screws that go all the way through the length of it. Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
And they actually get bigger than that too. This is a short one. We've done some that are 30 foot long this size. And just when they're all finished and you got to test them, it's crazy. I mean, you got to fill them up. They take 600, 700 gallons of fluid.
Just to say, where's your? Is that that's just an eye hook, or is
Yeah.
that your?
On this one, over here on the side, it's taped up, but
got
it's
it.
like a
manifold that bolts on or something?
Yep.
Wow. That's cool.
And then back here's where we do our roll inspection. So
Okay.
we were talking about the rolls earlier for the aluminum industry,
Yeah.
steel mills, aluminum mills. These are the rolls that roll the material out. And as you can see, they come in and they have an outer shell on them, which you can see, those are the spent shells right there. And it's over top of this.
Over top of it. So that's the water cooling?
Yeah, so it has machine
interesting.
grooves in here. You can see the cross holes, and on the end of it they feed the water through.
Sure.
And because you're talking molten metal, so you got to keep it cool.
Right.
So they come in and we have furnaces back here. This actually goes down about 15 foot.
This is incredible.
So we
You endo or you
stand them up vertical, set them down inside the furnace, put a plate on top, and you can see the burners on the side.
Holy cow.
You
And
fire
it
it up.
rotates it as well? No, it
nope,
doesn't.
it
Okay.
just sits
Set.
stationary. You got 8
Wow.
burners on it, and you heat it up to a certain temperature.
This is what you were telling me right before we hit record, that we
Yeah.
had to pull in a new gas line?
Yep, yeah, we had to run a separate gas line in here just to run the furnaces because it
That's
wouldn't keep up.
incredible.
It sounds like a jet engine when it's on running, but you take that 38,000 pound piece, put it in here, and within 5 minutes it heats it up to 600, 700, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Pops the shell off.
Yeah.
So
then
it
you have
actually
to push-
it's a press fit on
Uh-huh.
it, and it expands it just enough that you'll actually hear it pop.
Oh, cool.
And then we
know-
leave the crane hooked to it, and we just lift the center out of it.
So you don't even have to press it off.
No,
Oh,
it
that's
heats,
slick.
it expands it enough that it just literally pops
Now,
off.
if you
so-
didn't pull it, would the ID expand as well then? You have a window.
Yes, you have a window because
Okay.
you have to be very precise on it because you actually can't you can start to do damage on the core.
Yep.
If you leave it in there. So
I can't
when we
believe
first started doing it, it's a science on it.
Yeah.
You know, we first started doing it. It was taking us 30 minutes to do it.
Okay.
Once we got the new gas line and everything in it, you know, they're doing them down 4 or 5 minutes now. So, and you're talking something that size heating up to a certain temperature real quick.
Right.
So you can see it gets rusted on the inside.
Sure. It's literally just water.
Yeah. So
You can reuse this. You just have
these
to...
are scrap. Once they're taken off, they're
okay.
scrap.
Got it.
So we'll dye check them. So we spray the stuff on them, check the penetrant, check for
To see
any
if they're
cracks.
cracked. Okay. Do they crack?
Yes, a lot.
Can
So-
you repair that?
Yes. So what we do is we'll go in and grind those out,
Okay.
and then we'll weld them all up.
Yep.
Grind them, you know, turn them back down in the big machine, and check them again. This one you can see they had that one had grooves on it.
Yeah.
This one has the grooves turned off on it.
Okay.
Because the OD of the grooves for the ID of the shell was off spec.
Got it.
So we turn them down, check the rest of it. This is getting ready to go in the weld lathe.
So you'll build that up.
So
That, way back
whole,
where we saw
yeah,
that.
So this
Wow.
whole surface here gets built up with that sub-arc welding.
This is the multi-hour day process.
Yes. So this will run for, you know, 10, 11 days, 24 hours a day. And you'll build it up, you know, I think they go somewhere up to like 3/4 of an inch material on it.
Wow.
And then it goes back in the machine and they turn it down and they turn the grooves back into it.
Yep.
You know, and this is a smaller one here. That's actually one of the smallest ones we get into.
The penetrant test on this is with blacklight?
No, actually you spray it and then you spray this white stuff on it. It's a 3-part deal. So you spray the red stuff on it,
Okay.
and then you put the,
And it just pops. You'll
Developer.
see it just pops.
and then there's a cleaner when you wipe it off.
oh,
You
okay,
wipe
do
it
that.
all off, and then it'll seep into. You let it sit for like 10, 15 minutes, and then it'll start seeping out of any of the cracks. The red penetrant
Got it.
will. So this area over here, actually, before we moved into this location, they used to build offshore hydraulic cylinders for the offshore oil rigs.
Wow.
That's all that was here. So you can see we don't even use this. We're hoping that the industry comes back because this is all water glycol. They can't use any petroleum-based
Oh.
oil in those cylinders. So this whole
That's what you have to use as a fluid. Cutting
yes,
fluid?
you
Oh,
have
oh
to
my
use
gosh.
a glycol-based fluid. So
Huh.
those cylinders were roughly like 60 foot long, 24 inch bore. And this whole facility was
Yeah.
made just to make those cylinders.
Wow.
And they operated for a couple years, and then the oil and gas took a dive. And, you know, so that's when we kept a lot of the stuff that was left here. We purchased with the building. Like these big rollers are what they put them on to
That's incredible.
roll them.
Sure, sure. So you
To
got the
check
roll
'em.
business, but you guys would love for this to come
Oh,
back,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to make new because it's difficult new work. A lot of it's overseas,
Okay.
Italy, Netherlands, that type of stuff.
Oh, interesting. When you say
But-
overseas, I don't think Europe.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
Okay. Huh.
But we're actually positioned to do the repair side of things because it's, from what we're told, it's like international law that every 5 years those rigs have to come down out of service, and completely gone through and everything, and the hydraulic cylinders are part of that.
Well, so regardless of the oil and gas business up or down, that work still has to happen then.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're positioned to do that work if it ever happens to come
Right.
back. That's why we just kind of, and you can see the power unit, because that pit where them ovens are actually was the pit. Those cylinders had to be tested in a vertical position.
In case they blow.
Yeah. So what those cylinders were, like if you remember, if you ever saw like the movie Deepwater Horizon,
Sure.
the moon pool or the drill head,
Yeah.
and those cylinders were moving with the wave. Those cylinders
That's the
are
whole
actually
rig.
the drill head that the drill goes down through.
Yeah.
What holds that in place? There's 6 cylinders
Okay.
that hold that, and it moves
It's
with
like a
the waves.
hexapod
Yeah.
thing.
And actually, what we're told is only 4 of those cylinders operate at a time, and 2 of them are backup. But there's 6 cylinders on there.
Interesting.
But they had to stand them up vertically to test them, so that's why this building
had the
wasn't tall enough to test them. So they had to put the pit in to stand them up to test them. And then all these grates is where this power unit back here.
Yeah, what do you mean by power unit?
For the
The
hydraulic.
furnace? Oh, the hydraulic power unit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this was specifically for just testing the offshore.
Wow. Is it still a typical like 3,000 or 5,000 psi?
No, it's, well, you can see the flow lines they use on them. I mean, you're talking 4, 5 inch, 6 inch flow lines on them to,
Incredible.
I think they somewhere around 10,000 psi. I'm not sure on those, but I mean, they move very fast, and it's such a clean system that, you know, this, you could take the dirty oil, run it through the system, it filters it and cleans it and puts it back into the new
Yep.
and it,
Mind blowing. And so this is, you guys are family-owned business?
yes, yep, still family owned. Their 2 brothers, Ron and Don Sandy, own it. You know, they're in here on a daily basis. You know, one of the brothers does more of the business side of it, and the other one's more into being out on the floor and
Yep.
and working. So
It's actually very much like Allied.
yeah,
They're a 3rd generation, but one of them is in the machining and engineering side. One of them is much more the sales business guy.
yeah,
It works out well then.
yeah. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Very quick nutshell.
Yeah. Cool.
But as you can see, we do a lot of different things. We don't turn anything down. We let us look at it.
Yeah, hustle.
see.
Right.
And we'll either tell you, yeah, we can't do it, or no, we can't do it.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, folks, not the kind of equipment you see every day. Really cool, not just from the turning side, but to see kind of that honing side. And hydraulic cylinders themselves are also pretty fascinating. So big shout out to R&J and Jack for the tour. Thanks, man. Appreciate
yep,
it.
no problem. Thanks for coming by.
care.
Appreciate it. Yep.